So I'm pulling up here at the airport. I see two huge shipping containers. I'm so excited to get these two containers here finally from all the way over in the Netherlands. And today we're gonna break down all the costs associated with getting them here and how much stuff we got and what it's all worth. Welcome back to Rebuild Rescue. Yeah, so there's not a crane to actually take them off of the trailer, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Joe, I'm thinking I get one side, you get the other.
Yeah, we could do that. Not a problem.
It looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication with what we needed here to be able to unload the containers. So we're just gonna wait for a phone call and see what they come up with. The other thing is they want these unloaded right now. So if you guys saw in the other episode, you saw they had a picker and everything to pick the container up and off, and they had a week or two to load them up. So that's what we were expecting here, but we'll get it figured out. But I can't believe they're here.
So wait, we have to unload these things all today?
That's what they were thinking. They were thinking we'd unload them like right the way they are.
We just open up the back doors and just pull it all out.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we just got a call back from the shipping company. They're gonna actually let us keep these trailers here for 2 days. But that means we only have 2 days to figure out how to get airplane out of a trailer that's up about 3 foot off the ground. It's gonna be interesting. You don't know how bad I want to look inside there. Like, I just want to see, well, I want to see if anything fell, because this was on a ship crossing oceans. That blows me away. So if it wouldn't be for you guys and the GoFundMe, we couldn't do this. I mean, we couldn't do this. So, and then we found the perfect parts. We flew all the way across the world to get them. We shipped them all the way across the ocean to get them here. We're gonna get this done. All right, it all worked out. I know you guys have heard people say before that, like, the trucking company, makes this world go around. I mean, it's 100% true. It's 100% true. I mean, these guys work so hard. I know you guys have seen the video of Tim Gentry and I. He comes, he's a trucker, and he can tell you firsthand too. It's not an easy job, so I really appreciate, all the work that these guys did to get up here, and even, I mean, my gosh, they was shipped over here.
This is so crazy.
On a boat. It was shipped over on a boat, like literally loaded on a boat. That blows my mind. Now we just got to figure out a way to get them unloaded. We got to get them in the hangar. I don't even, there's parts there that I don't even know. I haven't even looked at all the parts.
Yeah.
When I was in Holland, I didn't have time. It was crazy.
It's crazy.
We have a lot of stuff to do. It's awesome though. All of our parts are here. Looking over at the 401, you would think that, man, we got a lot of work to do. We just got a lot of work to do. So first thing we're gonna move is we have to move our Razor. I saw a couple comments of people, talking about the Razor because they've seen it. So, and I think somebody said something about oh, there's the GoFundMe. No, they were like, oh, there's where the GoFundMe money's coming from. So I actually bought that from Copart. It was completely wrecked. It must have rolled like 20 times. So it was completely wrecked, and I rebuilt the thing. We put some killer suspension on it, a killer roll cage, some storage. Just, if you see the suspension, if you guys have ever ridden these things. But yeah, definitely not a GoFundMe money. This was Jason Go Have Fun money. And I actually got a heck of a deal at Copart on it and spent a lot of time. I had to straighten the frame, but I love this thing. This is our official the pretty tug. We call this the pretty tug. The other one's the ugly tug. So this is a pretty tug here. So I was actually thinking about something. There's a ton of people that have been in the comments, if you guys haven't seen, that will talk about, the 401 scam, and I mean, so many comments. There's even stuff on forums. Like if you search N81 Alpha Delta, or you search Rebuild Rescue or anything like that, you're gonna see forums that people literally started these forums and these discussions just to say that our project is a scam. You know, talking about, you know, my razor, it kind of reminded me of it. Should I do a video and go over all the numbers, go over what it looks like where we're going to be, what we've spent? I'd love to do that for you guys. If you guys are interested, post something down in the comments and I'll do a video on that explaining everything. And also, if you guys get a chance, go on Google and Google Rebuild Rescue, Google 81 Alpha Delta, Google Rebuild Rescue Scam. I can't believe the stuff that came up when I did it the other day. Check it out. It's like, I can't even imagine.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because of what our mission is here and what we're doing and what we do for people, even behind the scenes and stuff, and what's going to happen with the 401. But you guys, if you want a good laugh, check it out. Just got all the PA-28s, the TB-20, the Cardinal moved around. We cleared out the whole hangar, and now Sam and Rob are here because we got to move 08 Romeo over to the Smoketown Airport. It's like literally like a 5-minute flight. So we're gonna use 00 Whiskey and 08 Romeo to do that. It's a lot of work having like all these airplanes around here and getting like shipping containers and stuff. And
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know you were doing that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I forgot to mention it. So, if there's one thing I learned, if it's flying, Sam's in. It doesn't matter what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's in for flying. So if you guys remember in previous episodes, Greg was here working on 00 Whiskey. This is the airplane I had most of the flight training in. And right now it's got ported cylinders. It has electric mag. It has Art Madsen VG root mod on it. It has a cruise prop with the Art Madsen tip mod. They say it's worth an extra 150 RPM. And I almost forgot, it's got a power flow exhaust. It is probably the ugliest exhaust on an airplane, but it's supposed to add some power. So if you guys also remember, Greg said it'll do maybe 120 miles an hour. I said 120 knots. So now we're gonna be up in it and we're pretty heavy and we're gonna have pretty heavy fuel and we're not gonna have, what are those things called? Fairings, no. We all got it wrong. So, and it doesn't have the wheel pants on. We have them off just to check for stuff that might get stuck in the tires. No, just kidding. We have them off because we're waiting on a part. So that could slow it up a little bit, but we got to actually get it up in the air. We did, the AMPs that helped me here on the weekends did do a complete ground run test, static RPM. They said it was awesome. So now we're gonna go up and we're gonna push it to the panel, get some heat in it, make sure there's ring seat in, and we'll see how fast it goes.
Dude, you were cooking.
Dude, I'll tell you what, that thing is any bit as fast as a Cherokee 180. I'll bet you it's faster. We could have easily, if we wanted to fly past red line, we could have easily hit 125 knots, no problem. We were hitting 122, a little bit of work, maybe a little repitch of that prop, put the wheel pants on, and maybe one or two other little things, and that's 130 knot airplane. So great little airplane. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to fly. It's only going to be like 8 or 9 knots slower than the 235, but it's going to burn like 7 gallons less an hour. So cool stuff. I'm excited about it. Oh my gosh, he is off already. All right, guys, so we got the shipping containers here. Behind these doors should be all the parts we need for the free abandoned airplane for the 401 Phoenix in here. It's a 402, which is pretty much the same airplane. Engines, wings, everything. Everything's in here. 2 containers. Let's see if anything got messed up along the way.
What's behind door 1?
All right, this one has the props in it, the tail, the rudder, and what looks to be the wings and at least one of the engines, if not 2. And I think all the logbooks are in the boxes up there.
I can't get up.
Yeah, so right here we have the rudder assembly, which it's interesting how this rudder is just as big as the main portion of the rudder. Like it's just huge, but it's in great shape. It's already stripped. Now I see some areas where we're gonna have to touch up the stripping, but it's also got a new boot on the rear. And if you guys look, there's some dirt, but amazingly enough, there is no corrosion and there is no bird's nest in these parts. No repairs needed on these. At the most, we'll have to service the bearings, and these are ready to mount up. Looks like we'll have to put a VG or 2 back on here because one got knocked off because our parts have the exact same VGs on. And then we got this awesome container for one, with the propellers in. They're done, new de-ice boots on them. Here is all the logs, which I was so worried that we would get these and get them in one piece, because this has all the paperwork for all the work that was done on those wings. And here's the engines. They did a great job of packaging everything up. Right there's engine number 1, there's engine number 2, and there are the wings. And it's been so long since I've seen them. They're a sight for sore eyes, I can tell you. No time in my wildest dreams did I ever think that we were gonna get all the parts we needed in one place for a great price. Now, the shipping for all this stuff was like really, really expensive. I don't know if you guys ever shipped anything across the ocean. Not the cheapest thing, but it was well worth it. I mean, we saved so much money doing it this way. Nothing looks damaged, nothing looks dented. They did a great job strapping it down. So yeah, so let's get over. Let's get into the other shipping container. What's behind door number 2?
A brand new car.
No, it's an airplane.
A brand new
Airplane. Well, I'm not sure what we're going to use that fuselage for, though, and I'm sure it's packed full of stuff. But in hindsight, we might have been able to do a little different. But it's here. So if one of you guys needs a 402 Bravo fuselage, hit me up. It might make a really good
tiny house.
Yeah, tiny house. Yeah, something. All right, let's take a look at this. So we got the fuel tanks here. Here is interior pieces, which we don't need, but the interior pieces were in really good shape. We could end up using some of these parts along the way. There's just so many different parts. They're the same parts as the 401. Only difference on this 402 is it has windows in the rear, and it has square windows instead of those little round windows. And but yeah, and I think it's supposed to have brand new windshields. These aren't the new ones, these are the old ones, but if you guys look, we have a ton of parts. I don't know if the flooring if we can use the flooring or not. Again, you know, the nice thing is we have it all. We have extra rudders, we have all kinds of stuff. The other thing that would be nice, I don't know if we can do it, I don't think we can, but it does have the cargo door. It would have been really nice to have the cargo door in the 401 because you can fit a bigger person in here. I don't think you can do that. You know, retrofit it without an STC. Here's the panel. It does have controls and everything, but they are, these controls are a little bit different, but a lot of the panel is exactly the same. So there could easily be some switches and things like that that we'll end up using. We'll go over this stuff. We'll, you know, look and see what's good and what's not good and use everything we can. So the other day, Sam had a flatbed tow truck bring up the brand new rebuild rescue forklift.
Not yet.
But no, he brought it up for us to borrow so we could get all this stuff out of the container safely. Over in Holland, this was on the ground when they loaded it. I thought that's how it was gonna be when we got it. A little bit of miscommunication with the shipping company, but we got some awesome help and we got a forklift. We may end up using the originals. There's some dents in these. So what I'm thinking is that we can hook this strap here and one of the other straps we have to those legs that they hook to the fuselage and then hook it up to the forklift, kind of drag it out. Man, this thing it's really heavy. It feels a lot heavier than the 401. Shut her down. It's bolted down up here. Awesome, Joe. Thank you. So there's actually a couple screws coming down through a front anchor and a big lag in the front that holding it down that you just couldn't see. So I think I should get it now. Back up real slow. It's gonna fall off the piece of wood, so it's gonna make a little bit of a noise here. Like that. Sorry.
Oops.
Look at the camera hole underneath this thing.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
So that's what makes this 402 really special. It's got this huge I think it's a 24-inch camera hole, STC, and all the modifications are done. So if you got a camera company and you want a fuselage with it already done, right here it is. We wanted to get the back of the fuselage out. We didn't want the top of the forks being so high up in case it wanted to fall left or right. Last thing we wanted to do is roll the forklift. I mean, maybe it'd be a fun ride, but I didn't want to see that happen. If we had those roller things, we could set it on the roller things and
That's what.
roll it in. Oh, you mean the little ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant our tables.
No.
Get it?
Jason, why can't we use those hand cart ones that we pumped up? The scissor ones?
Oh,
You want me
the
to go get 'em?
the lift tables.
The lift
Yeah.
tables.
The
yeah.
lift
Go get 'em?
tables.
The lift tables.
My gosh. Why not use the awesome tools we have? A little sketchy. We might be able to come in here and stick the forks under here. There you go. Come on in. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. He's going to pull the truck out, Joe. All right, we're clear. Wait a second. Let me center this cart. right, let's unlock these wheels and at least push this up against the hangar for now. We're gonna get everything up to the hangar up there so we can get the rest of the stuff out of that box because he has to go. The trucker has to leave. It is day 2, or is it 3 of getting...
I think it's continued.
It's continuous. So yeah, so it's like to be continued now. We have the other shipping container. We're gonna get all the stuff from here unloaded and we're gonna stick in the hangar. We got the wings in there, we got the props, we got the engines, we got the logbooks. Can't wait to go through it, take a look at it, and really study and see what we got. Man, this is so awesome, like getting these parts as I'm like looking at all the things that we needed. We have 100% of them. It's kind of like Christmas because I forget what all we have. Hold up. Is it loaded? It was. Oh! When I looked at them, I was just like, kind of like the clouds parted and everything was gonna be okay. This is a fresh overhaul. Like, just to have this engine done, it's $60,000 and it's brand new. It's now we're gonna have to do some stuff to it because it's been sitting, but it's been in dry storage, so should be good to go. All right, so we got everything out. We got the engines out. We got the props out. Now we got to get these wings out. And this structure is huge. It has the completed, ready to paint wings on it. And it's got the elevator on it as well. But it's like a huge, it barely fits in here. So we're going to get all these straps out. It has some wheels built into it. Whoever built this rack was brilliant. They spent like a lot of time. So we'll keep that rack just in case. I don't know what we'll do with it, but we'll keep it. Last thing we got to get out of here, and then we can look at what all we got. I guess we still got to get the airframe in the hangar down there though too. So we got a lot of stuff. This is like, well, it's a complete airplane in pieces. If you got an airplane from IKEA, this is how it would come. I should be able to roll this thing out by hand. I got all 4 of the wheels. It has these really cool jack wheels, and right now it's up on 4 wheels. Should just be able to roll it right out to here. Tricky part is going to be the balance of it as we get it out. Come on in. Keep going. Stop. Ha ha! It worked.
All right, we're in.
Looks like
That's what success is like. Good job. Good job. It was like a huge struggle getting all this stuff unloaded. We, off camera, we just got this 402 fuselage, or in Jason's terms, fuselage. So we just got this, we got it in. So one of the things I forgot about is that we also had this box here, and I wasn't sure what was in it. We did find a spinner that was in there. These spinners are not cheap. $1,500 for a spinner. I think I paid even more than that for a brand new one. No idea what this is. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Radar. It looks like pretty much like new. All right, so this has a maintenance release. It was worked on in '94, but we got a full narco radar that would go in the front end. So I'm not sure if we can use this with the other radar stuff we have. The other radar we had was messed up inside, but I can tell you if I bought this, 5-10 grand, because I looked them up because the other one had wires chewed and everything else. This is like 5-10 grand radar unit, and I promise you, the rest of the radar accessories are inside this fuselage is inside the 402. So we have all the parts. If we want to put live radar back in and get that screen fixed on the Abaddon, we can do it. Oh, we also have, yes, an overhauled and tagged director. There's a ton of avionics in that panel, including 155 Navcom. We got an overhauled manifold gauge. We got an overhauled turn coordinator, overhauled VSI. Man, and these things, I mean, if you guys know, you know. If you've bought any of these components before, they are not cheap. Little slip indicator and pitch, overhauled. So we got some great parts. I would say if you bought these pieces, 3 grand. If you bought them overhauled, they probably cost 3 grand overhauled. They might be 4 grand if you need them all. So I gotta be honest with you guys, if this didn't have the big camera hole in the bottom, and that could be, that could be taken out, man, this thing is a great airplane. It's got big windows on the sides here. It's huge. Like I think it's like another 1.5 feet in the cockpit area in the cabin, and another 1.5 feet in the front over the 401. And man, it's got some baggage area in here as well. If anybody out there needs a 402 with that camera hole in there, 24-inch STC ready to go, let me know. I don't want to see this go to waste at all. There's probably a couple parts I could use from it, but we got like all these gauges. It's got good yokes. It has we have a whole interior. The interior's in good shape. I mean, I don't know what you value this at, but I mean, there's thousands of dollars of parts in here. Is it 5 grand? Is it 10 grand? Is it 15 grand? Obviously, to the right person, that fuselage is gold. I mean, that could be a $30,000 fuselage sitting there. And it's in great shape. It's stripped, it's all allodyne. You can see kind of how it has that yellowness to it. That's all allodyne. That's to keep it from corroding. And it's in great shape. There's no corrosion on it anywhere. We got an awesome deal. So if there's one thing about me that you guys would learn, I love a good deal. I absolutely love a good deal. A few minutes ago, Joe and Keith were here and they had to go, but they couldn't believe the deal that we got for all these parts. Guys, look, I mean, this is the whole tail of the 401 that we needed. So there's problems with every part of that tail. There's problems that would take a lot of work. There's a lot of corrosion. There's panels that need replaced. There was bearings that need replaced. There was bearing carriers that needed replaced. All this stuff is ready to go. It has the exact same VG kit on it that was on the tail. It's in the logbook, same one. The boots are even in good shape. Now we're gonna replace these boots here because the boots, which we'll get to in a minute on the wing, are brand spanking new. But so we are going to replace those because we want it all new. But these are all stripped, they're all allodined, they're in great shape. These two pieces here, which were damaged on the 401, in perfect shape. They're great. The bearings are loose. Everything's already been serviced. And it was getting ready for paint to get put back together, and now we have it. These parts here to repair all the rudders and the elevators and all that stuff would have cost us tons of hours and thousands of dollars. I would probably say, right here in parts, we're looking at 10 grand. So right here in the floor, $10,000 right here. So that's $10,000 that we saved, or hundreds of hours and a few $1,000s. So this is gonna help us get it done quicker. It's pretty much, we're gonna have to inspect it a little bit more thoroughly, but it's pretty much prime, paint, and bolt on, all this stuff here. I was gonna save this for last, but I'm gonna get to the wings now because I haven't even looked at them since they landed. And this whole thing, finding all this stuff, it's amazing. We couldn't have found a better thing, a better deal. If you look here, these wings were completely rebuilt. They were completely overhauled by a company up in Maine. We have all the paperwork, we have all the STCs, anything that was done. Again, it's got the exact same VG root kit or VG kit that the 401 has, same manufacturer and everything. These boots, these are brand new. They're going to need a little bit of gluing and stuff, but man, all the hoses inside here, all the lines, everything inside of here is brand new. If you look in here, it's all brand new. It's got brand new rotors. It's got brand new calipers. It's got brand new pads. There's brand new wheels, brand new tires. So that means we have extra tires because we have brand new tires on the other wings too, which we're going to save. In those wings, we're going to take all those parts, those kind of consumable, you may need them if something happens parts, we're going to take them off there, we're going to keep them all. We're going to inventory them and keep them. And we have some cool stuff we're going to do with those old wings as well. This also has the STC for the extra fuel tank in the storage locker. So if we have a long flight, we can make it in one trip. And we do have a P-tube in the 401, and we do have a squatty potty in the back. So one of those long trips, we're going to be able to make it. We don't have to stop anywhere. Everything was all completely fixed. If it needed any loose rivets were replaced, all the pulleys were replaced, all the cables, like everything. The fuel selector was all rebuilt, and we have all the paperwork for it. They spent $140,000 just on these two wings. And it has this. This is the big one. This is the big one right here. This is part of the spar strap mod that had to be done for the AD. That was a $70,000 job to remove the wings, remove the engines, or whichever way they do it. Normally they do it on the airplane, but these were done off the airplane. So that AD is gone. I think it needs rechecked at 12,000 hours. So it's good for 6,000 hours. And I don't think the 401 is going to fly for 6,000 hours before, anytime soon. That's a lot of hours. It is absolutely perfect. There's no corrosion. Everything is primered, ready for paint. I saw a couple places we're gonna have to do a little bit of body work. There's a ding or two that we're gonna have to take care of. We'll take care of that before we take this over for paint. With the corrosion that was in those old wings and all the parts we had to put on, and we really almost couldn't have went to this length. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because right over here, we got not one, but two power plants. Right here, we have a Ram overhauled. Ram is actually a really good company, down in Waco, Texas. Great company. This engine has never been ran. And both of them are pickled. This engine over here, this had an IRAN. This was shipped out, everything pulled apart, cylinders. I think it had cylinders put on it. I have to look at the logbooks. Everything's in great condition. This engine alone, $60,000. To have this overhauled is $60,000. That's not even counting what the engine cost. A core cost $7,500 just for a usable rebuild engine, $7,500. We got two engines. We got this one over here. I've seen some used, not IRAN though, just used mid-time is going to cost you 25 to 30 grand. I would definitely value this thing at 30 grand. It's all pickled. Everything was pickled. It even has the coating on the engine to keep anything from corroding, that oily kind of stuff. We'll get that cleaned up. Man, the alternators, they're all new. The exhaust. So Normally when you overhaul an engine, you don't get an exhaust. We got exhaust. There's complete exhausts that came with these. It's still on this one. The exhaust of this one is in that crate. Those exhausts have an AD where the 401 exhaust, we can't use it. It's the older version, so we had to replace it. That's $8,900 that we're saving. $8,900. For that deal to fall into our laps, I can't even fathom. The best deal ever, and it's the best way for us to use that GoFundMe money. To all you guys that donated, thank you so much. I can't tell you still like what it means to me. It still blows me away. Thank you so much. But that also meant that I have a huge responsibility to make sure that we use that money the right way. And that's what we've been doing. You guys are going to get to see in a future episode because we're going to go over all of that. We're going to go over all that. Yeah, so 2 engines ready to go. We have a couple things to look over them because they have sat for a while. We have to double check any new ADs, stuff like that. Bolt on. Which also means these 2 engines over here that we have that came out of the 401, these 2 engines here are great cores. Likely, we're going to overhaul one of them and keep it as a spare. And then the other one, we're going to be able to sell as a core to an engine shop. As a core, that's going to get $7,500 back to put towards a 401, to put towards possible fuel for one of you guys to fly it. Because I want to invite people to be part of the Rescue Foundation, to be part of Rebuild Rescue, to go on some missions with us. So, and that thing burns a lot of fuel. I'm a little worried about that, but it burns like 36 gallons an hour, which is a lot of money. And then we also have the props here. So we have 2 props. I guess we should open up and look at it, huh?
What's in the crate?
I have no idea. I'm not sure. I think maybe like exhaust parts. So also the turbos. So there's going to be turbos in here somewhere. We have hoses. That's the other thing too. Like the turbos. I mean, it's a ton of money. Ton of money. So yeah, I don't even know what's in here. It's like Christmas. It's like opening up like a big Christmas present. Yeah, this is a bladder. So this is an overhauled bladder dated 11/19/09. On these wings, it has new bladders already installed. So it looks like we got a spare set of bladders. It looks like we got a ton of the old parts. So we got rotors, we got wheels, bunches of them, bags of parts, all kinds of different stuff. It looks like the internal parts of the wing. This is the guard that goes on for the light, so it's not flashing in your eyes. Got brake calipers. We got manifold hoses. We have fuel strainers. There is all kinds of pieces on here. We have a whole bunch of suspension parts. This is all the pieces that were replaced. I see an air box. See another, I see a turbo. Here is the rest of the exhaust components, and they are in really good shape. So in the 401, these were all rusted and corroded. They weren't usable. So we have those. I can tell you now, I looked up this pipe and that pedestal. That was $2,000 just for one. We needed 2, so it's another $4,000. The turbos, the turbos were like new, were like $4,000 a piece or something. We got 2 of those. And I'm not going to pull it up out of there. I see the other exhaust down in there, and this turbo I saw in the book, brand new. Brand new turbo. So the reason that this sat, if you look at the 402 fuselage, there's a 24-inch camera hole underneath of it. So a company had got the airplane, they had the modifications done to do aerial photography or aerial videoing, and did it for a while. Had to get some work done on the airplane. The AD had come up, for the wing spars. So they had it all pulled apart, and they sent the parts out, spent all this money to get it done, and then ran out of money. So that's how it sat. So we do have a fuselage. If anybody needs a 402 Bravo fuselage with a STC 24-inch camera hole modification already done, let me know. We have it here, it's in really good shape, and I would practically give it away. Well, after this one's all completely together, just in case we don't need any parts. To overhaul the props that we have, two different things. One thing, that's an older design prop. They don't have as many parts for them. I could have got them overhauled, but you're not gonna find parts for them often. But there's also a good core value on those. I could probably get around $2,500 a piece for those props. So that's $5,000 we'll gain towards the project. We got two props. These are completely overhauled. They have the de-ice boots already on them. They are ready to go. Those props, if you bought them, 20 grand a piece. 20 grand a piece, overhauled, ready to go, all that stuff. I think, I could be off a little bit. It could be 18. New ones are gonna be 25, 30. Then add the prop de-ice to them. So we saved so much money. Yeah, for this to happen, for us to find all this stuff. Just crazy. Brand new prop de-ice. You can see they've been filed down, you know, the little nicks and stuff on them. They didn't repaint them, which I think we're definitely going to have to repaint them. They are completely serviced. They've been completely overhauled. We have all the books, we have all the receipts for everything. So what we'll do, because these were overhauled some time ago, we're still gonna send them over to a local prop shop here. We'll have them going over just to make sure none of the seals got dry or anything like that, and so we know they'll be 100% ready to go. And I know there's been a few people that had posted on, you know, comments, hey, you know, there's this 401, there's this 402, why not a 414, why not that? Well, the reason is because it's not the 401. It's not what really started the excitement in aviation. It's not what got everybody into aviation. It's not the 401, and that's what's important. And yes, we're taking all kinds of components from another airplane, but you know what? When you overhaul things, when you rebuild things, that's what happens. You take the smartest path financially and the smartest path of what's going to be safest and get it done in a fair amount of time. So I really wanted to thank Jason here at the airport. He turned me on to this deal. He found it, sent it over to me right away. He actually sent the information to the wings down in Florida too. Thank you so much, Jason, for all of your help, because this was an amazing deal for us. We paid $50,000 for all those parts, 50 grand. The shipping was 30,000. So it was $80,000 for $250,000 in parts. Yes, can you buy a beaten up old 401 or a 402 for that? You can, you definitely can. And then you're gonna stick another 50, 80, or 100,000 in it down the road. This thing's gonna be like new. We have so many great sponsors, we have so many great people behind this project, and it's gonna happen. Thank you guys so much for being part of the rescue crew. Guys, thank you so much for spending time with us. Take care.